All of us will long remember his creative leadership of the league and his interest in and the service to the NFL fans. We ask you to pause for a moment of silence in his memory.
Celebration for Packer fans. Green Bay almost unbeatable in the Brett Favre era at home in the cold. Today, red-hot Denver with the NFL's winningest record challenges the Pack. Green Bay looking to repeat as NFC Central champions. A week ago, this was a preview of Super Bowl 31, a matchup of quarterbacks Elway and Favre, two of the favorites for this year's MVP, but Elway won't play today because of his hamstring. Today does match Mike against Mike, Holmgren against Shanahan, two coaches produced and influenced by the 49er machine. Shanahan, however, without Elway, will try to prove to the rest of the NFL that 12-1 Denver is more than John Elway. Bill Musgrave makes his first ever NFL start at quarterback for the Broncos. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Green Bay, where it's 31 degrees. Chill factor is under 10, wind at 20 miles an hour. Elway isn't here. The world wonders, is Denver going to be a different team?
You know one thing about Denver, you don't become 12-1 in the National Football by just being lucky. You got to be a good football team. Think about these two stats. They're number one in rush offense. They're number one in rush defense. And Elway doesn't have anything to do with that.
And for the Packers, Mike Holmgren and the players all say the man. We win with a man, Brett Favre.
That he is the man. Brett Favre, in my opinion, the best and most exciting player in the NFL. And look what he does with this system that favors the quarterback first in a lot of categories. As Mike Holmgren says, we win and lose according to how our quarterback plays. Today will be no different. He will have to play well for Green Bay to win.
And the Packers are tough on the other side of the ball, led by the Minister of Defense, Reggie White.
Watch one another's back. Let's take care of each other and let's have some fun. Let's
I'm Jim Gray. I'm now joined by John Elway. John won't play today. If this were a playoff game where they needed this win, the Broncos, would you have played?
Yeah, I think I'd have been able to go, but I think that Mike decided to hold me out, and I think really looking back on it is the best decision.
Can we assume you'll be back next week for the Raiders?
I'm going to do everything I can. I'm hoping to be back.
Can the Broncos win without you? They haven't done since '89.
Doesn't matter. They can still win. We got a good football team.
John, thanks for joining us. Let's go upstairs to Dick Enberg.
All right, Jim. Bill Musgrave played at Oregon, four-year starter, followed Chris Miller there with the Ducks. He'll get on the field first today as Chris Jackie has it teed up. Deep to return, Vaughn Hebron for the Denver Broncos. Crowd of 60,000 in this town, always enthusiastic about the Green Bay Packers, feeling that this is a team good enough to continue winning, win home field advantage, and then get the Dallases and San Franciscos to play here in January in the playoffs. Jackie sends it into the wind. Hebron at the 7. Finds a little crease and dives out to the 29-yard line. Musgrave's 6th NFL year. He was drafted by Dallas and released, picked up by the 49ers. His first start. Here's his offensive line. Jamie Brown, that's a key. He plays for the All-Pro Gary Zimmerman out with shoulder surgery. Schlereth, Nalen, Habib, Thompson, a veteran line, underrated. Musgrave has the league's best rusher in Terrell Davis. The blockers Aaron Craver, Miller, and McCaffrey outside. Shannon Sharp, 75 catches at tight end. 10 of those for touchdowns. Elway a spectator. He's the third or emergency quarterback today. They start with Davis. Gets outside. No gain. Brian Williams and Doug Evans from that right side to make the tackle. The defense for the green and gold stacks up this way. Reggie White, Pro Bowl after Pro Bowl, 10 in a row. Santana Dotson, Gilbert Brown, and Sean Jones, the front four, with Simmons, Kuntz, and Williams. Kuntz, the leading tackler. Newsome and Evans at the corners. Leroy Butler having a career season. He has 5 interceptions, 5.5 sacks, and veteran Eugene Robinson is the other safety. them on a corner blitz, and they run the other way with Davis out to the 35, where it'll be 3rd down and 4. What do you expect to see, Paul?
First of all, Denver, you don't change anything. You have the same game plan coming in. You just change quarterbacks. This system's the same.
Yeah, don't change it, Paul. But Green Bay's defense today, the one thing they'd like to do is get to Bill Musgrave, hit him, get him out of rhythm, because there has to be some self-doubt in his mind. And also, Green Bay got to stop the inside runs. Lately, everybody has been hurting them with the run inside.
3rd down and a long 3. First time Musgrave without a back in the shotgun, and a quarterback draw. And Musgrave has a 1st down at the 42-yard line.
Don't you love it? I mean, you would think John Elway would do this. The very first play, it's a pass play. They put him with nobody in the backfield, and look what Musgrave does.
Well, it's a good call by Mike Shanahan. Takes the nerves out of the game for Bill Musgrave. 5 wide receivers were out there in the field. They had it spread. It gives a good hole for Bill Musgrave to go in there and get rid of some of those jitters and, you know, take that first lick of the day. Even though it's not a hard one, it has to make him feel good.
Eugene Robinson tripped him up at the 42, a 1st down. Number 1 rushing team in the NFL, the Denver Broncos. This is Aaron Craver, and they continue to work on the left side. Fumble the ball, and the Green Bay Packers say they have it. They do. Sean Jones, number 96, the veteran from Northeastern, comes up with it.
You know, you're successful in your first series of downs, and then something like this happens. You just say Craver comes to the outside. Sean Jones not only strips the ball, but also he gets the fumble. That's great defensive end play.
Both the forced fumble and the recovery by the veteran Jones, and Brett Favre takes the field with a 1st down at the Denver 41-yard line. Only William Henderson behind him. They come out with 2 wides and 2 tight ends, and Favre, plenty of time, now has to buy some time and throws it up for grabs. And Andre Rison, the ball well out of bounds. Alfred Williams, who leads the league in sacks, put the pressure and added a little turf to the helmet of Favre. Here is the Green Bay offense. Michaels has had some problems at left tackle, rookie from Southern California. He's light. Taylor, Winters, Timmerman, Dotson. It's a relatively young starting front. Bennett, leading rusher. Henderson, the blocker. Freeman and the veteran Rison, acquired this year on the outside, and Mark Chmura, good news for Green Bay, returns at tight end. Keith Jackson, of course, also in that tight end stable for Green Bay. Here's the man, Favre, again. MVP numbers this season, as he did last year when he won that award. Play action fake down the middle, incomplete, intended for Chmura, who slipped as he tried to reach back. The Denver Bronco defense, and that's the reason why they are so much improved to 12-1. Number 1 against the run, as Paul pointed out. Hasselbeck for Dan Williams, who has the flu, will not play today. Lodish, Michael Dean Perry, Alfred Williams, the sackmaster. Mobley, the rookie from Kutztown, has played well. Aldridge, Romanowski, a Pro Bowl season. Crockett and Washington at the corners, and Braxton, he's having a career year at safety with 7 interceptions. And the hitter, the guy they call Lumber, Steve Atwater. 3rd and 10. And a draw to Dorsey Levens, breaks a tackle, has the 1st down at the 28. Phil, the Packers are so pass-oriented that on 3rd and long, time and time again, they fool the defense with a run.
Well, you're right, Dick. When they run on 3rd and long, nobody's expecting it. It's a complete surprise, and this time it is again. Denver rushing the passer, in coverage, everybody back. Dorsey Levens did this last week against the Chicago Bears. In these situations, there's nobody there to tackle him. He makes something happen.
Jumpy Geathers was the only guy that had a shot at him. He got 1 arm on him, and that wasn't enough.
13-yard pickup on 3rd and 10. Levens, who started at Notre Dame, played 2 years, and then transferred to Georgia Tech. Big back at 235. This time it's Edgar Bennett, and Bennett corralled. Bennett with 725 yards to lead the Packers in rushing this season. Williams and Perry made the hit.
You know, one of the things about the Denver Broncos we've heard all year long is that if there is a weakness on their defense, it's the corners, Phil. But we haven't seen anybody beat the corners yet this year.
Nobody can take advantage of those corners if there is a weakness there, Paul, because the pass rush is good by the Denver Broncos. In Green Bay, they've got to protect Brett Favre. They struggle with it every week. I think it's maybe the weak link on this football team and keep him in the pocket, Brett Favre, and you have a chance.
2nd and 11 from the 29. And a whistle, no play, and Edgar Bennett would have gone for a score. Boy, did he shoot through a big hole, and no white jerseys there, but a false start against Green Bay.
Dick, there was a whistle, but you're right. This was going to be a touchdown. They caught Denver in a blitz. Nobody there when you get through, when you crack the line of scrimmage.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 86. 5-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
When you crack the line of scrimmage against a blitz, that's what can happen. There's nobody in the secondary to make the tackle.
You know what's really bad about this? You got Antonio Freeman, the receiver, out on the top of the screen that moves. You see him move on the top. He's not even involved in a play. They're not even going near him. He doesn't even have to block anybody, but yet he moves. If he had just stayed right where he was, it would have been a touchdown.
Instead of 6-0 Green Bay, it'll be 2nd down and 16 from the 34. Favre pumps, throws, intercepted by Steve Atwater. And Atwater is to the 25-yard line. A flag is down.
I think they might call holding on Steve Atwater that time on Andre Rison.
And that not only will be cost Denver the turnover, but give Green Bay a 1st down.
I think Favre's arm was hit, or he was rattled before he threw the ball, because that was really a bad pass.
Gary Lane.
Holding, defense, number 27. 5-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
So Atwater guilty of the hold, and costs his team his own play, the interception. Takes it back to the 29.
Steve Atwater into coverage inside against Andre Rison. Watch him. Andre's going inside. He gets that hand on him. Hooked him with the left hand, pulled him somewhat. The back judge sees it, Paul. They're going to call that every time when you stick that hand out and stop a receiver.
Atwater at safety all over the place. He's safety, linebacker, he'll blitz. Levens through a hole, pushed to the outside by Romanowski. Can't tackle him, and Levens to the 21, a gain of 8.
Phil, you were telling me about Friday when you saw the Green Bay Packers going through their motions of practice, how quick they hit a hole and how fast they practice. When they go in motion, they're fast. Look at Levens when he hits the hole. Watch how fast he gets there. Romanowski, the blocking is sensational, but how fast he gets into the hole.
Yeah, Paul, that was the one thing that struck me when I watched this Green Bay team. Bill Romanowski outside, he sees the run, has a chance to make the play, but Dorsey Levens gives him a straight arm and gets away.
And a mix-up as Michael Dean Perry shoots through.
Dick,
on 2nd and 2.
I don't think I want to make a living trying to run against this team. We've seen a couple of plays that worked. All right, they caught him in a blitz, and they caught him, they got to the outside where one man missed a block or missed a tackle. But I don't want to make a living running it.
Misdirection, traps insides, when you catch them off guard, that's when it works. That's when you can run against this Denver defense.
That's a special teamer, Roderick Mullen, a defensive corner. 3rd down 4. Going in the backfield is Favre. Throws underneath, complete. 1st down inside the 15 to Mark Chmura. Chewy, they call him here in Green Bay. Been out with a bad arch.
Well, you talk about doing something quick. This is what this offense is all about. Brett Favre drops back. Watch Mark Chmura, number 89, just goes down a couple yards, and as soon as he turns, Brett Favre anticipates, throws it in there, get it done quick. That pass took less than 2 seconds for Brett Favre to make his mind up and where to throw it.
10-yard play, 1st down at the 13. Favre, incomplete. Trying to hit Keith Jackson, the veteran tight end. Covering was John Mobley.
You know what's interesting about both quarterbacks, and I'll go back to Elway for a second, but Elway and Favre both, when they need a play, they go to their tight end. You did that with the Giants.
Because they're smart, because their tight ends are really good. So you go to those good players. That's what you do. The coach says, throw it to our best players if you can. Keith Jackson, and of course on the other side, Shannon Sharp, they're some of the best tight ends in the National Football League.
Shannon Sharp waiting for the offense to return. His brother, of course, Sterling, wearing the same number 84, was a huge star. Fumbles the snap, does Favre, and able to fall on it. Which will bring up 3rd down and about 10.
A couple of things I've noticed already in this game today. Brett Favre pulls out just a hair too early. You can see the ball hit his fingertips. That is the quarterback's fault. But the ball looks like it could be a little hard to handle because of the cold weather, the wind. It's quite breezy on the field, and the field looks very slick. I see all kinds of players slipping.
I was down on this field running into the wall earlier today, and I'm going to tell you what, the grass here, Dick, is about 1.5 inches high.
You were running? Wait, walk into the wall. Okay.
Kind of walk.
3rd and 11, and it's a screen to Dorsey Levens, and what a play by Alfred Williams, the defensive end, to catch him by the heels and deny a possible first down. That'll bring on the field goal team.
Maybe a possible touchdown. The Green Bay Packers, they love the screen. That's something the West Coast offense or the Bill Walsh offense that nobody does, but Green Bay loves it. Dorsey Levens, they got people out in front to block it. It could have been a touchdown, and Alfred Williams.
Man, did he read that thing, Phil? As soon as Levens came out, he was going inside Alfred Williams, which is hard to believe that he was going inside on the stunt, saw Levens and came back out with him and made the play.
Jackie, a 33-yard attempt. And the Packers take advantage of the fumble recovery by Sean Jones. Jackie from 33, Green Bay by 3.
On NBC is brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. By Lexus Luxury Automobiles, the result of a relentless pursuit of perfection. By McDonald's, official break of the NFL. And by Staples, the office superstore.
Green Bay capitalizing on the fumble recovery with the field goal 3-0 as we remind you experience the NFL all week long on NFL.com, the official website of the National Football League. For all the tackles and the touchdowns and a live game day scoreboard, click on NFL.com. Jackie's kick comes down to Byron Chamberlain, and Chamberlain, the tight end, is across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Timeout, first quarter here in Green Bay, 7:50 remaining.
NBC.
3-0. The Packers, who took 11 plays to move just 26 yards and earned the 3-0 lead after the fumble forced and recovered by Sean Jones. Hey, kind of like that cheese look on you, Paul McGuire, in our pregame show.
Kind of improved your looks a little, you know what I'm saying?
I didn't realize that thing was a phony. I tried to eat it.
Denver, second possession from the 31. Musgrave's first throw is to McCaffrey, complete, gain of 5, and that brings us to our first update of the day. We go to New York and Greg Gumbel.
All right, Dick, and we go to Houston, where Jacksonville has gotten a leg up on the Oilers. Natron Means, a 1-yard touchdown run. 2 years ago in the Chargers Super Bowl season, he had 12 rushing touchdowns. That is his first of this season. 7-0 Jacksonville, Dick.
All right, Greg, Musgrave with that completion. He had thrown just completed 20 of 30 NFL attempts in his 5+ this season years in the NFL. Second down and 4. Musgrave batted back into his face as leaping high was Santana Dotson.
I mean, it's really difficult to throw over a defensive lineman who's back off the line of scrimmage about 2 or 3 yards. Now Dotson is being blocked back off the line of scrimmage, but he sees the ball, gets up, and he hits it with the palms of his hands.
When you're a defensive lineman, you cannot make penetration, get back there, stop, watch the quarterback, and try to do that. Good job by Santana Dotson.
Dotson coming to Green Bay after 4 years in Tampa Bay. Dad played in the league, Alphonse, with the Raiders and the Chiefs, defensive tackle. Musgrave fools the entire Green Bay team, and wide open is Shannon Sharp. 50-46 of Green Bay and a first down. The entire Green Bay team had gone to the far sidelines. 17-yard play.
From this end zone, you take a look at the left side of the screen, the whole Packer defense goes to their right.
Yes.
And Musgrave could have run, except he did the smart thing. Let's give it to Sharp and let him run and take a pounding.
Complete that pass, but Reggie White, 3rd and 5. Denver will run it. He thinks it's run. He's going down. Hey, I'm protecting the backside against the run. No, I'm not.
Who's that guy with the ball?
First time Denver and Green Bay territory. Trailing 3-0. 6.5 minutes left in this first quarter.
Musgrave underneath to Rod Smith, and Smith, who played at Missouri Southern with the Lions and is a budding threat for the Denver Broncos, has his first catch today.
Phil, are you surprised that all the passes that Musgrave has thrown so far have been like 8 yards or less?
Well, it's smart, Paul. First, his first start, so you know he's got to be nervous. The Denver offense likes to throw it short, but there's a little breeze on the field. They're going into it. That has to change your play calling, so it's smart to throw the ball short.
Their first possession, they had 4 rushes. This possession, they've had 4 straight passes. Second and 4. Terrell Davis, and nothing there. George Coons, the middle backer, plugging the hole.
There's Coons, 53 from East Carolina. Davis with only 7 yards rushing in 3 tries, leading the league. Handful of yards ahead of Jerome Bettis, Waters, Sanders, and Eddie George. What a find he was out of the University of Georgia, the 21st running back selected in the draft a year ago.
I guarantee you those numbers will change drastically. Drastically.
3rd and 4. No one in the backfield with Musgrave. Complete. Anthony Miller, first down at the Green Bay 28.
You know something, Sims? Mr. Sims.
Tell me.
I have not seen this guy throw a bad pass yet. He had one knocked down at the line of scrimmage, but Musgrave has not thrown a bad pass.
Well, I think you can see what he's all about. That play just illustrated he likes to catch the ball. He's smart. We talked about it. He knows the offense real well. Watch him. He's going to catch it. He sees the defense. He throws the ball on rhythm. It's a nice ball. It's easy for the receivers to catch.
Mike Holmgren of Green Bay scouted him when he was at Oregon. He said, I've always liked Musgrave. I won't be surprised if he plays. Well, there goes Davis. And his first sizable chunk of yardage down to the 22-yard line, a gain of 6.
Well, this is one thing that this is probably the #1 play that the Denver offense runs. Watch the left guard, Schlereth pull inside. It's a trap inside. That is the play where they get most of their running yards from.
There's Terrell Davis, first in the league and rushing first in total yards, with his catches thrown in first in making first downs, and his 13 touchdowns ranked 5th. 2nd and 4. No.
There's Jamie Brown, second-year tackle, who is replacing Gary Zimmerman. Zimmerman, by the way, had the shoulder surgery earlier this week. He's been...
False start. Offense. Number 70. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Yeah. This is a noise penalty. Here's what you see. Brown right here. Watch him. I mean, everybody else is set. Sean Jones doesn't move until after Brown does. This really is, the noise in this stadium is tremendous.
Back to Brown replacing Zimmerman, who has never missed a game in some 10 seasons. Zimmerman had the shoulder surgery, and the show kind of guy he is. He said if this had been for the playoffs, he would have started today.
Oh, yeah.
Rest him a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and Shanahan said that, Mike Shanahan, the coach, told us that last night, too, that, hey, Gary Zimmerman said, hey, look, coach, I'm ready. Let's.
You know, the thing about Zimmerman, though, Dick, he's played the entire year in pain.
2nd down and 9. Trailing 3-0. Musgrave. Underneath, complete. Anthony Miller, 24-yard line, short yardage, 4 maybe. As Musgrave is now 5 for 6 with the only pass hitting the ground, the one that Dotson rejected.
Well, I tell you again, the Denver offense, look up top, Anthony there, watch him come inside. It's a zone coverage. So let me stop. There's a nice open hole here. There's no defenders. Musgrave reads it, throw it in there.
This is an offense that Denver is running. It's no different than Elway, except Elway get downfield a bit. This is called don't do anything stupid offense.
And use up as much time as you can. Down to 3 minutes left in the first quarter. 3rd and 4. Fake toss, and the throw incomplete. First bad throw by Musgrave.
Well, no, it was a pretty smart throw, Dick. He threw it where only his guy could catch it, and it was the same play they ran earlier on 3rd down. But this time, which I can't never believe, on 3rd down, cover, Shannon Sharp. That time, Green Bay defense did it.
Well, the other thing, too, is that don't run this play against Reggie White twice.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
you know, here's an old crafty veteran. You may run it once against him, but don't do it again.
Jason Elam comes on. It's a 40-yard try with the wind at his back, gusting up to 22 miles an hour. Elam knocks it through, and we have a tie game here in Green Bay.
Packers 3, Broncos 3, 2:49 left in the first quarter. You're watching the NFL on NBC.
Brown on the sideline. He said, if you go offside one more time, give me the uniform. I'm going in.
You dumb.
I want to tell you something. Is Zimmerman tough?
That's great. That's great. He's over there. Hey, it's got to be killing him not to play. So he's over there giving some advice, trying to help his teammates out.
You bet. Desmond Howard and Travis Jervey on the other end of Elam's kickoff. Down to Desmond Howard, the former Heisman winner at Michigan. He's had a couple of punt returns for touchdowns, and he squeaks out a good return here to the 30-yard line. 27 on the return. 2:38 left, opening quarter. Field in Green Bay, where the Packers have won 24 of their last 25. They've won 14 in a row, and part of the reason, the enthusiasm of these fans, the attire belying the chill factor of about -5.
That guy's minus about 3 brandies.
Yeah, they sell beer here.
Favre from his own 31. Picks out Keith Jackson, who takes a big hit from Braxton and Aldridge. Brett Favre, although he grew up in Mississippi, Kill, Mississippi, he has been a cold weather quarterback. 15-0 in temperatures under 35 at Lambeau. Look at that quarterback rating.
And look at that completion percentage in cold weather, the yards. But here's the most impressive: 32 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions.
That is more than remarkable. Favre 3 for 6 today, 15 yards, and looks at second down 3. Lots of time. He comes this one incomplete. Lionel Washington getting a hand on it, the veteran from Tulane at the right corner.
Boy, didn't they just give him the opening to throw down to Antonio Freeman. I mean, Brett Favre thought he has. I have an opening, and Lionel Washington just closes on the ball. What a great play, because he knew he had help from Atwater. But look at that move. That is beautiful. There's Atwater.
And then Mike Lotish. We talk about the Green Bay protection. Brett Favre stands in the pocket, wants to go down the field. Mike Lotish comes around free.
Almost too late.
Yes, that was borderline.
Third down and 4. It's a 3-all tie, less than 2 remaining in the first quarter. Favre changing plays.
Jackson's moving. They got
incomplete to Don Beebe.
There was so much confusion, and Keith Jackson got up to move outside, and then he comes back inside, and he never does get set.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 88 on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
I would hope so. Watch Keith Jackson at the top of the screen, folks. Watch this here. You think he's confused? Should I go out here? No. Oh, I got to get back. No, I don't have time. You have to set for a full second.
Yeah, we still kind of ease him down into that 3-point stance. Veteran Keith Jackson, he said, boy, Holmgren, he is a master of detail. He said, I'm the ad-lib star. He won't let me ad-lib.
He says, I am the best ad-libber in football, and Mike Holmgren will not let him do that. Stay with the pattern and be precise.
Alfred Williams this time, he bit on the snap count. Favre almost intercepted by Ray Crockett.
Well, that was a good job by Brett Favre. You could hear it in his voice. He gave it that one extra hut. And Alfred Williams, too anxious to get to the quarterback, jumps too early.
Let's listen to Favre. Just that little delay. You give a loud bark and then follow that one with a real snap count, and that's enough to get Williams to step offside.
Well, any good pass rusher, which Alfred Williams is, if you're the opposing quarterback, if you don't get him offsides once or twice a game, then you're not doing your job. So, you know, the Denver Broncos, good pass rush. You're going to jump offsides every once in a while.
Favre underneath, wide open. Antonio Freeman, he had gone in motion, delayed over the middle. No one picked him up. Gain of 16.
What they do, they send Antonio Freeman, number 86, in motion. Watch him to the top of your screen. The defenders get a little confused, and look at the hole it creates for Brett Favre to throw it in to the open space. Easy first down for the Packers.
That Bill Romanowski's man at 53 should have been sliding because there's nobody in the backfield.
Freeman last year with only 8 catches was a non-starter, and this year with the injury to Robert Brooks is the leading receiver coming in with 41. Edgar Bennett, who wants more carries, doesn't get much this time. Alan Aldridge with Tyrone Braxton making the stop.
You know, it really is amazing when you're sitting up here and you're watching them how quick they get to the hole when they go in motion. You were talking about that. It's hard to believe that when you go in motion, you know, most guys go in motion, they trot out to make sure the defensive guy sees me like, hey, yo, I'm going out in motion. Come on out here with me. These guys are flying.
Edgar Bennett now 3 carries for a -2 yards against this defense. Toughest in the league against the run, Denver.
Dick, a lot of that's because of speed. They have it in every position on defense.
2nd and 8. Bennett again. Wow. Lost back to the 49. Fumbled the ball after the whistle.
Ray Crockett, the corner, comes up, sees the play, diagnoses it, and gets to the backfield. And that says a lot about your defense when your corner is so aggressive. Watch Michael Dean Perry up the top 2. He does a good job, pushes, gets back in the backfield, but look at Ray Crockett, number 39, coming in and just doing a terrific job.
Probably the final play, and will be the final play of the opening quarter. Jackie, a 33-yard field goal, Green Bay. Elam from 40 yards for Denver. And after 1 here at Lambeau Field, it's tied at 3. To Green Bay, we go to the second quarter. They change ends. Green Bay with a win. It's back, tied at 3. And Favre, a tough 3rd down quarterback, and he looks at 3rd and 12 coming up. Leads the league, rating 95, 10 touchdowns. He's made 1 3rd down and long already in this game. Under pressure, gets away from Hasselbeck, and now throws downfield. Going to be intercepted by Atwater. Atwater, who had one nullified by his own penalty, picks it off at the 20-yard line. It is his 2nd of the season.
Well, I don't know where to begin. Terrific pass rush. What coverage down the field by Steve Atwater. They get good pressure on Brett Favre up the field. Harold Hasselbeck makes him scramble out. Now, this is where this guy's the most dangerous. But he throws it down the field, and Steve Atwater makes some adjustment to get to the football and make the interception.
You know, the guy that makes this interception work is Darius Johnson, number 25. He doesn't hesitate. When he sees Favre come out to the outside, most backs will back off and start covering. What he did was he forced Favre to throw the ball to that man, Steve Atwater.
So Bill Musgrave, for the injured John Elway, starts from the 21. Pitch back to Musgrave. Throwing for McCaffrey, wide open, and he's down at the 41. No, he was back up. He actually had regained his footing, and so gets another 5-6 yards and a total of 27. And Musgrave took quite a pop as he delivered the ball.
Well, it was a good job by Musgrave up top. Anthony Miller's going to clear out. Watch Ed McCaffrey come across. Look at the big hole. Musgrave sees it, anticipates, and gets rid of the football. Eddie McCaffrey going across the field. The safeties, everybody running deep. And being smart, knows he wasn't touched, gets back up and gets a few extra yards.
Looked like Leroy Butler, and he says it's not Leroy, but Leroy. Yes, number 36 on a safety blitz. He has 5.5 sacks this year. First down at the 48. Terrell Davis invades Green Bay territory with a 4-yard gain.
You know, you and I were talking at the beginning, and you said about if you're going to run against the Green Bay Packers, they've been pretty good this year against the run, except the last few weeks. If you're going to run against this team with Terrell Davis, you run inside the tackles. Inside,
they like to trap inside. And the big thing I see today, you just cannot generate enough speed to go outside because of the slippery conditions.
Same initials as his idol, Tony Dorsett. TD always sounds good to a running back. 2nd and 6. Musgrave to Shannon Sharp, who has a first down at the 39.
Well, how smooth does my boy Bill Musgrave look?
All of a sudden now it's his boy. Your boy now?
Yeah, well, I thought he would come in and play well because he seems to be not real excitable. He throws on rhythm. and he knows this offense so well. And this offense is kind of like Green Bay's. It is set up for a quarterback to do well, to hit a high percentage in 7
Quarterback friendly.
That's a good word for it.
7 for 9, 81 yards for Musgrave, and a first down at the Green Bay 39. Tied at 3. Davis, not much there. Picks up a couple. When you think about the league this year, it's been an amazing consistent story that backup quarterbacks, when the main guy gets injured, come in and they win. Craig Erickson from Miami, Burline, Freeze, Johnson, Craig. I mean, it's almost every time a big guy is injured, the backup comes in and wins a game.
Well, I think that's right. And then the third guy, Kerwin Bell, comes in the other night, wins.
But I think it is, and this is a good example here. The team gets tired of hearing they can't win when one guy is out, and it kind of riles up the whole team and the coaching staff, and they come out and play pretty well.
2nd and 6. His main target covered. That was a dangerous pass for a loss to Craver, who was covered by Brian Williams. Williams had a pretty good shot at it.
Wow. Wow. Bill Musgrave does a good job of looking at watching here. He's going to go back and he's going to say, he's covered, he knows his outlet is to the right. I know he sees the defender, but he can't stop, but he throws it anyway, and that is just lucky it's not picked off.
I'm going to tell you, you got to give credit to this offensive line of the Denver Broncos. Those guys on that particular play did a great job to give Musgrave a chance to look at 4 different receivers.
A loss of 5 on the play, 3rd and 11. No one in the backfield with Musgrave.
With a corner blitz.
Well, this works just like it did in practice for the Green Bay Packers. They got some blitzes from the outside. They came free in practice. Watch Doug Evans up top. Comes in. Nobody sees him. The offensive line doesn't see him. There's nobody back in the backfield to pick him up. That is easy for a defensive player.
Tom Ruin in to punt for the first time. And into the wind, he sends an end-over-end kick. Desmond Howard at the 13, a flag down, and Howard at the 22, just as he was picking up steam, tackled by Jeff Robinson. 39 on the punt, 9 on the return. Let's check the flag.
That flag was thrown down from the official down by the 10-yard line.
Desmond Howard returned to the 23-yard line. Packers ball, first down from that spot.
That's got to be a defensive penalty, I would have to believe, because it was thrown way down the field by the back judge.
Now, considerable discussion about the call, and Gary Lane still not quite certain.
Well, again, it was thrown by the back judge down the field.
Frank Winters is the Green Bay representative.
Now that could be a guy leaving too soon. I don't know.
You don't know until they give you some word or a signal, and we've received neither.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 25 on a kicking team, running out of bounds, did not make an attempt to return. 15-yard penalty, re-kick.
Darius Johnson, the rookie from Oklahoma, so that's a big penalty when your kicker now has to punt back into the wind.
Well, Dick, here it is at the bottom of your screen. Here's Darius Johnson. You can see that he's out of bounds. You've got to come back in bounds immediately. And I don't know. He ran 2 or 3 yards, 5 yards at most. He's running full speed.
That's pretty thin.
That is thin. That's right. Thinner than hospital soup. That's thin.
Oh, boy.
I know. It's terrible.
He wanted to use that in the preseason, but he never had it. So 15-yard penalty after an 11-yard sack and a completion that was a -5, and a bad kick now by Ruin. That's going to give Green Bay great field position. They're going to get the ball very near midfield. Timeout, 10:46 left in the opening half.
NFL on NBC is brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Transamerica, the power of the pyramid is working for you. By 1-800-CALL-ATT. Dial it for collect calls and save money every time you use it. And by DirecTV, satellite TV at its best.
A couple of farm boys like Sims and Enberg. That's a welcome sight to pastoral Wisconsin countryside. I don't know about you guys from Youngstown. You didn't see too many. That red one was a barn. The other one was a silo, Paul.
You're kidding. Look at this Tom Ruins punt. Watch the ball, folks. Watch it turn sideways. When it goes sideways, the ball has to go out of bounds. Watch. Here comes a drop, and watch that turn. You got to hit that thing flat on your instep. He missed it. What's it, 14 yards?
24 yards.
24. What a lovely punt that wasn't.
42-yard line, Green Bay tied at 3. Favre. He was juggling, and they're going to rule that incomplete. Yep, good call at the 46-yard line. Antonio Freeman was still bobbling it as he left the field to play. Ray Crockett, the corner for Denver.
Here's the play. They just know Freeman. He has no chance. Look at the official come down. Watch. He's looking at his watch. Oh, I got my watch. Yeah. It's 6:45. And he bobbled the ball.
10-1.
Oh, I'm sorry. He was setting his watch. It was a little ahead on him.
Favre now 4 for 10. Split backs. Favre under pressure, throws incomplete. Freeman had broken free, but pass awry. Let's go to New York.
All right, Dick, in Houston, Steve McNair and the Oilers have pulled even with the Jaguars. McNair 23 yards to Ronnie Harmon, who makes it into the end zone with the extra point in the second quarter. The Oilers have tied Jacksonville. It's a 7-7 score, Dick.
All right, Greg, here it's tied as well at 3. 10:36 left in the first half, and Brett Favre takes him out of the huddle, 3rd down 10. Favre gets away. What a play. Now the long throw for Andre Rison, incomplete. Flag down. Len Cadrez shot through cleanly. Couldn't get to Favre, and perhaps because Green Bay guilty of the hold.
You know, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to ask you something, Phil.
Offense, number 77. Penalties decline. 4th down.
As a quarterback, this guy has nobody to throw the ball to. They're covered. I'm talking about great defensive secondary coverage by the Denver Broncos.
Well, you think you can take advantage of this Denver secondary, even when he got that extra time. Look, 4-12, still nobody can get open deep down the field.
Craig Hentrick with his first punt. Rod Smith at the other end. Beautiful spiral by the former Notre Damer. Smith, belated late fair catch, and takes it at the 13-yard line. Will return. Tied at 3.
Job of catching the football and punch. The reason why, he never takes his eyes off the football to look at the punt coverage. He does it by feel. He knows the ball was up in the air too long. You better signal for a fair catch.
Denver at the 13, tied at 3 with Green Bay here at Lambeau Field. Musgrave to Terrell Davis, can't get outside. Eugene Robinson, 41, comes up to make the hit. This is an interesting first half. Each team has 3 possessions. Each has 1 field goal, each with 1 turnover, and each with 1 punt, with 10 minutes left in the half.
This game right now is totally in the hands of the defense. Agree?
I think Denver's offense has done a pretty good job. Been a little unfortunate moving the football, bad break or two, but you know, the Green Bay defense good enough to make the big plays to stop them from scoring.
2nd and 10. Musgrave tipped and incomplete. Intended for McCaffrey.
Wayne Simmons, number 59, tips the ball.
The one thing I can see, Wayne Simmons, again, if you're a defender, watch number 59 on the end of your screen. Short drop, look, read the quarterback, get up in the air. Short passes. Green Bay, I would be a little more aggressive. Denver has not shown they're going to go down the field with the football, making sure he can stretch the defense.
For the first time, Musgrave in the shotgun, and he has company. And back there alone, now he sends McCaffrey in motion. Underneath to Shannon Sharp, tackled at the 20 by Leroy Butler, and it's short of the first down by 3.
What a nice play by Leroy Butler. You know, the one thing about Sharp is, all right, if he's going to catch the pass, go ahead. But make sure you make the tackle as soon as he does catch the pass, and that's exactly what Butler did.
Well, he said that Shannon Sharp, he knows he's too strong for him. He said, I'm not going to get into a wrestling match with him. He'll throw you aside. Yeah. I'll play back. And I might just, he said, I might take a gamble once and dart in front of him. Ruined a punt. Desmond Howard, beautiful kick into the wind. Wynn now catches it, and at the 34, Howard. Took him back last week. Gets to the sidelines and out of bounds at midfield at the 50. Timeout. Under 9 left in the second quarter. Welcome back. Greg Robinson, the defensive coordinator, has to be proud of what he's seen the first half from Denver. Alfred Williams showing his quickness to deny a long gainer. Lionel Washington in the right spot. Ray Crockett coming up to deny Bennett, forcing a loss, and Steve Atwater in the right place for the pick. That's why the Broncos' reputation building defensively, and look what they've done to the top rusher for the Packers, -6 yards on 4 carries. Increased quickness on defense. That was Mike Shanahan's goal, and it is paying rich dividends. From the 50-yard line, Favre caught in the backfield for the first sack of the day. Michael Dean Perry and John Mobley will argue as to where it might belong statistically.
I don't know what to say. There's so many good things by the Denver defense this time. First, they come up in a blitz look. Watch Mobley, number 51, comes all the way around with his speed, makes the sack. Brett Favre checked off to get rid of the football fast, but the receivers were so well covered, he couldn't throw it.
Well, Robinson's defense, a -4 on that first down, 2nd and 14.
Robinson's confused. All of his things are working. He doesn't know which one to call. Throw anything out there. Go ahead, go get him.
Packers come out with 2 tight ends, Jackson and Chimura. Favre complete to Freeman at the Denver 47. Lionel Washington, the tackler. It'll be 3rd down and about 8.
You know, what I'm seeing when I'm just looking here at Favre, first of all, he doesn't have enough time to throw the ball because everybody's rushing him out of the pocket. But the other thing is, there's nobody to throw the ball to.
Well, that's the difference, Paul. A lot of times when Brett Favre gets out of the pocket in previous games, he makes a lot of plays, and he win their games sometimes because of that. This Denver defense can react. The defensive lineman can run him down. He doesn't have those chances.
Freeman to the left, to the right, Andre Rison. Denver was offside. Free play for Favre. Was tackled back at the line of scrimmage by Michael Dean Perry, but Green Bay is going to get a free play on the 5-yard penalty.
I'm going to tell you what. Now this is really an iffy call. This is a terrible call by the official to make this play because those guys were not offside. They made a hesitation move. They were not even in a neutral zone.
Offsides, defense, number 79. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
They're saying Jumpy Gathers, 79.
Well, there's Jumpy inside.
Look where he is. He can't be offside.
It's got to be at number 94, and that's who they're calling it on.
Jeff Robinson.
Jeff Robinson, but his head never moves. His body did, but he did not go forward when he flinched.
That's a terrible call.
But it's a 5-yard penalty marked off, and Green Bay now with 3rd down and 3. Bennett, the lone running back. Favre. Complete. Andre Rison has his first catch of the day and a first down Green Bay. With the injuries to wide receivers, the Packers signing Rison, who was released by Jacksonville.
Well, look up top of your screen. Nobody around, nobody underneath Andre Rison. Brett Favre does a good job of reading it and gets it outside to him.
Andre Rison, in his years with the Falcons, averaging per game 5 catches and 3/4 of a touchdown. Oh, what a nice defensive play by Washington to reach in and deny Antonio Freeman. Washington very proud of the fact that he's one of the 35 and older cornerbacks with Albert Lewis and Darrell Green, and he said, I really learned early with the Raiders those 4 years behind Lester Hayes and Michael Haynes.
Yeah, wasn't that great to hear? He says, I went out there and I wasn't mad because I wasn't starting, because look how good they were, but he sat back and he learned from those two good cover guys, and boy, as he put it to good use. He is a good solid corner, 35 years old and still getting it done outside. It is remarkable.
Very smart, very smart.
2nd and 10. They spread it out this time, Green Bay, and then give it to the fullback, Dorsey Levens. And Levens, who carries 235 pounds on his 6'1" frame, short yardage. Braxton and rookie Darius Johnson with a tackle.
You know, the one thing about Jumpy Gathers, when he's in the ball game, number 79, Phil, it's going to take two.
Yeah.
I don't care where you go along the line of scrimmage. They're going to put two guys on that guy.
It really is funny to watch Jumpy Gathers in there, and when he comes in, he tries to pick up an offensive lineman, and these guys are usually big and fat. Well, they're big. I don't mean fat, but he tries to pick them up, which is quite remarkable.
The old forklift gets under both armpits and just lifts them off the ground. Favre down the middle, complete to Jackson, and a first down at the 18. 14 yards for Keith Jackson. Little histrionics from the veteran from Little Rock, Arkansas. Only the 7th completion in 16 attempts by Favre.
Play action pass keeps the linebackers underneath. Keith Jackson just goes across, and Brett Favre throws it into the open space. And well, Keith couldn't ad-lib there, but he does a good job of finding the open hole.
First down at the Denver 19. 5.5 minutes left in this first half. Edgar Bennett close to the 15 before the whistle sounds. Alfred Williams 91 with Bill Romanowski backing it up.
Now you think it's easy to play quarterback in the National Football League. Look at Brett Favre. He's trying to get a snap. His chin strap. He took it off. It's gone. He can't get it. He said, I don't need it. Heck, my line will protect me. They won't hit me.
Yeah. Well, they protected there, but it cost them 10 yards. They've called holding.
Offense, number 52, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Center Frank Winters, the only real experienced player in that offensive line. He's in his 10th year.
Watch Frank Winters, number 52, inside. He's the leader of this offensive line, and immediately he gets his hands outside the shoulders, and you could see he threw that flag as soon as that play took off.
Well, the problem, the worst part about the play, not only is it holding, but he has Taylor, the guard, to his other side, who was going to help him on a double team. So he really never had to hold anybody. He's had help on Jumpy Gathers in the middle. Whoever he's blocking, they're double teaming in the middle.
Under 5 minutes remaining in the half. William Henderson, the only back behind Favre. Another offside. And the whistle, no play, as the pass goes to Jackson. It was Mike Lodish who lurched forward, made contact before the snap.
I mean, it's enough. Come on, guys. How many times are you going to jump off sides?
Well, they may have called this on offense, because I didn't think Lodish touched anybody. See, if you're offside on defense and you don't touch anybody, they don't call it. But when they blow that whistle, it's got to be against the offense.
That's a good point, and Mike, I'm sorry.
Sorry about what?
Well, I was getting ready to get on him and blame him, and he didn't do anything wrong.
Well, let's see.
I think it's on the receiver on the outside movement.
Uh-oh.
And it may be Rison, Andre Rison, number 84.
Well, so far we got a penalty on 8 people.
Yeah, I know. But the thing about it is the defensive man, if he doesn't touch the offensive man in line of scrimmage, the play goes. He's just offside. If he would jump across and hit the guy, just touch him, it's stopped. Here
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 84. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Good call, Paul.
Andre, is it Ray?
It's Dre.
Dre Rison.
Andre Previn Rison, if you will.
Now that's when they see the official on the side. He just throws a flag. He already sees him move before the ball snap. Doesn't make any difference what the defense does now.
So from the 19-yard line back to the 34 on a 10-yard hold and a 5-yard false start. First and 25. Favre. A little short on that one. Intended for Freeman. And time now to go to New York for this NFL update.
All right, Dick, in Cincinnati, Jeff Blake to Carl Pickens has been a pretty potent combo. 36 times they've clicked for touchdowns over the last 3 years. This is the latest, a 14-yarder with the extra point. The Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens are now even at 7 under 2 minutes to play in the first half, Dick.
All right, Greg, thank you. Cincinnati Bengals looking for their 6th win. Playing well for Bruce Coslett. 2nd and 25, Favre and the Packers. Inside handoff to Dorsey Levens. Well read by the Broncos. Holding his ground was rookie Darius Johnson. He's a 4th-round pick from Oklahoma. Mike Shanahan feels that in the future they've got some real good speed developing at the corners. Darius Johnson and young Torrey James, their 2nd-round pick from LSU.
Yeah, even Lionel Washington had a lot of good things to say about the young corners. So Mike Shanahan's got a feel in the future when his corners get a little too old that he has good replacements and come in and keep playing man-to-man coverage.
3rd down 21. And time called by Denver. Broncos unable to get the right personnel on the field with just under 4 minutes left before halftime.
The Broncos had to call timeout because they didn't have the proper people on the field. Greg Robinson, the defensive coordinator for the Broncos, had a little refresher course of the hand signals to make sure that that doesn't occur again. Dick?
All right, Jim. 2nd down and 21 at the Denver 31. Green Bay trying to make it 3rd and 21, trying to break this 3-3 tie. Favre with some time. Bullet complete to the 9. Depending on the mark. And it will be marked well. It'll be a 1st down.
Now he threw that ball hard.
That is just a wonderful job by the offensive line. Look at the time they give Brett Favre. He's able to step up. They're able to clear everybody out and get an open hole for the receiver. And look at Brett Favre. That is like, well, that's the number 1. That is a fastball. Good follow through.
Like
Rocket man.
Outfield right fielder throwing you out on the at the plate on a tag up fly ball. Favre positions the Packers 1st and goal inside the 9. Fake to Bennett, throw back incomplete. It's complete, but nowhere to go for William Henderson. In John Mobley's arms, he winds up as someone did some good schooling on that Denver defense to pick off that play.
You know, this play has been run by the San Francisco 49ers when Mike Holmgren was there, here in Green Bay by anybody that's worked under Bill Walsh. Play action to the left. The fullbacks on the left side comes underneath, and of course Denver runs the same play about every week too, so they should defense it well.
Mobley did a great job.
11th play of the drive that started back at the 50. Stopped at the 5, fights to the 4. Steve Atwater came up to help out. Jumpy gathers on the tackle. Braxton there as well.
Jumpy gathers underneath. I mean, what he does in the middle is just phenomenal. He gets double teamed almost every play he's in. Number 79. Here's a double team. Look what he does. He fights him off. He fights Winters off. He makes the play. Now, is that any good?
As we approach and hit the 2-minute timeout. 2 minutes left in the half. Green Bay threatens to break this 3-all tie. I'd like to remind you we have Saturday NFL action next weekend, 3:30 Eastern time with the NFL on NBC. Then you'll see Junior Seau and the San Diego Chargers against the Chicago Bears. Special Saturday edition, NFL on NBC next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern. 3rd and goal, Green Bay at the 4, tied at 3. Final 2 minutes of the half. Favre changing his call. That's Dorsey Levens. Favre throws, incomplete, no flag. It appeared Lionel Washington made early contact on Antonio Freeman, but Denver has forced the Packers to bring on the field goal unit.
Boy, don't you love what Denver did, though, Dick? They line up in one defense, showed Favre one front, and then he called an audible. They switched over, and then Lionel Washington gave him the opportunity to look to the outside. You think you got it open? Watch his hand come in and knock the ball out. Boom. That's a good play.
Really a good job. Lionel Washington comes off his receiver, sees it coming outside. He knows they have the blitz on. He's waiting for the quick throw. Good job by Lionel Washington.
So that took him 12 plays from the 50, stopped at the 4, and Jackie's second field goal attempt. No more than an extra point, and Green Bay leads 6-3, a 22-yard field goal.
If you experience car trouble today, look for the AAA Wisconsin truck in the stadium parking lot.
Mike Holmgren's offense certainly been checked by Denver's defense, and the same can be said Green Bay's defense holding off the Denver attack. A reminder tonight on Dateline. We exposed some gaping holes in airport security. The result was an FAA crackdown. Dateline's hidden camera investigation continues. Plus, story of a man who risked his own life to save another. An amazing story of courage and survival. That's tonight on Dateline here on NBC. Well, your impressions, Phil Simms and Paul McGuire, of this first half in Green Bay.
Haven't been disappointed, Dick. Everybody thought that this would be a runaway for the Green Bay Packers for some reason. The defense of Denver played very well. Green Bay, their offense struggling, but hanging in there and giving themselves a 6-3 lead.
I think this game is totally, in the first half, has been in the hands of both defenses, and they've shown up very well. Now, Musgrave, I think in the second half, they're going to have to let him throw the ball downfield a little bit more.
Has to go down the field, but look at Bill Musgrave, 9 of 12, 83 yards. Good job. Brett Favre hit the one big third down, 3rd and 21. Good job by his offensive line, enabling them to have a 6-3 lead.
And Dick, Denver has 2 timeouts with 1:54.
Jackie kicks it off, short and high. Hebron racing up to the 19 to collect it. Oh, what a move by Hebron. He still is a live carry. Oh, no, they say he's down by contact. It appeared that he might have slipped under his own power and had a chance to run on. Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, Dick, thank you very much. We will stay at halftime. We'll go back to our New York studios for the Domino's Pizza NFL Halftime Report with Greg Gumbel, Joe Gibbs, Mike Ditka, and Chris Collinsworth. They'll get you caught up on all the scores and highlights from around the league. And we'll have the second half of my exclusive conversation with Al Davis. Al reveals a very different side than you've probably seen. He talks about his 97-year-old mother and his philosophy. It's quite interesting, so stay with us here at halftime. Dick?
That's fascinating stuff, Jim. So is that hat.
Now they got to give me a dozen of those hats in different colors. I'll tell you, that's beautiful.
First down at the 37. Musgrave to the sidelines, and Shannon Sharp denied by Leroy Butler.
The one thing that I watched when Musgrave was warming up, Phil, is he is a little bit late getting the ball out there. He's got to get it there quicker.
But Leroy Butler, here's a good example. Stays off of Shannon Sharp. He waits till he makes his cut, goes underneath him, Dick. There's the shot you've been looking for. He said he would take a chance. That was a time to take the chance and make it happen.
Butler leads the Packers with 5 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown, 90 yards against San Diego. 1:44 left, first half. Bill Musgrave underneath to Shannon Sharp, and he's drilled by Butler. So Butler just wearing him like an old coat.
Yeah, but they had like 3 guys on Sharp that time. I mean, Musgrave, you've got to go someplace else with the ball. You can't just keep going back to Sharp time and time again. You know, they had that thing in Green Bay years ago with his brother Sterling Sharp. They threw the ball to him all the time, but he could get open, get the things done. All that Green Bay's doing now is they're putting 2 people on Sharp and covering everybody else with 1. You better go someplace else.
Sharp, Shannon, and Sharp Sterling, their brother combination, only 13 catches from 1,000 between them. On 3rd and 7. Musgrave incomplete to Mike Sherrard. Broken up by Tyrone Williams.
I know what Sherrard's looking at. Sherrard's looking at, wait a minute, how long can you keep your hands on me? Sherrard's coming down the field, and the whole time, they're on him. I mean, that's Tyrone Williams. Watch this.
Watch his right hand. Look at the right hand, the left hand. The right hand never leaves the back of Mike Sherrard.
That's pass interference or holding. You can call either one. Illegal check. You get a choice of 3.
Bruins punt. Desmond Howard. Fair catch at the 27. 34-yard punt. No return. 51 seconds for Green Bay to try to add to their 6-3 lead.
Well, you know they called Darius Johnson out of bounds once before. Look at this. Is this blatant or not? No, they don't call that.
He's trying to wipe out Mike Holmgren.
Favre to the sidelines to Freeman. It's a catch out at the 44. With 45 seconds left, first down Green Bay, 17 on the play.
Well, they ran this exact pattern earlier in the game, and Brett Favre underthrew it. They come back to it. A good job by Freeman. When you talk to the defensive backs of the Denver Broncos, they say that guy, Freeman, runs the best pass routes of any receiver they faced this year.
4 catches and 72 yards for the former Hokie from Virginia Tech. Underneath, no one picks up Chimura, and he is breaking tackles. 35, 30, and out of bounds at the 28.
You have an all-out blitz, Phil. Romanowski comes and nobody covers the tight end. They didn't cover either one of the tight ends.
It's an all-out mess-up. That's what it is. 2 people come out. Nobody's covering the tight end, Chimura, or the running back, Dorsey Levens. There had to be a mix-up between Bill Romanowski and the other linebackers.
And Favre trying to call timeout, but he was already his man out of bounds. Didn't matter. Time had been stopped. 37 seconds. That was a 29-yard catch, the longest of the year for Chimura. Screen. Levens got a blocker. 20 to the 19-yard line. Toppled by Lionel Washington. Timeout, Green Bay. 29 seconds left, and stern look on the face of defensive coordinator Greg Robinson.
Is there any other team in football, Phil, that runs more screens than the Green Bay Packers?
Nobody runs more, and nobody runs them near as well, Paul, as the Green Bay Packers. A lot of teams during the offseason have studied them, tried to pick up some of these screen plays and run them, but you know what? They've been doing them for years.
You know, the one thing, Dick, about screens, you can run them perfectly and they don't work. You got to pick the right time to run one, the right play, the right, you know, in a situation like this, here they are, they still have 3 timeouts. They're inside, what, 35 seconds, and to run a screen that takes a lot of time. They're one of the few teams that'll do it.
Well, that's something Mike Holmgren, he brought to this offense. He learned it from Bill Walsh, and they didn't run the screens. He put these in. He believes in them, and changing personnel, wide receivers and running backs.
He gave high credit to Walsh's pursuit of excellence and perfection. He said, like a kid, I said, boy, if I ever coach, I'll never be that demanding. He said, I'm doing the same thing as Walsh.
Oh, I know. That was great to hear.
From the 29, 3 for 3 is Favre on this drive. Now Bennett on the draw. Hit hard at the 14-yard line by Tyrone Braxton. Second timeout spent by Green Bay at the 23-second mark. Well, the AFC, NFC, many are wondering if the AFC will ever win a Super Bowl. It's been since 1983, NFC dominating, but this has been a year to give American Football Conference fans some hope. And here are records of the teams, AFC's best against the NFC's best. 2 best records in football and what's happened in the NFC, going back to 75, winning all 6 of those. Now we have the best of the NFC against the AFC today, and Green Bay leading 6-3, and room for more as Tyrone Braxton being attended. He might have caught a knee from Bennett as he was down low to make that tackle of the Green Bay fullback.
Well, Tyrone Braxton, number 34, tackling Edgar Bennett, goes down low, and oh, look at that knee to the helmet.
Just watch Bennett's right knee. There it is, where he catches him in the helmet. You know, the one thing about the Denver Broncos, Dick, being 12-1, if there's been an injury-free team this year, it's been this team here. I mean, they've really been able to pick and choose where they want to play. Even guys with little nicks, they can put them in.
You know, I always think good teams stay injury-free better than other ones because they're the ones dictating the pace of the game. They're the hitters most of the time. They're the more aggressive, and that's the reason they don't have injuries.
There you see a confirmation of your point, Paul. Denver, number of players started at least 1 game.
And also, I think another important factor for Denver, they play on grass all season long, only 3 games on AstroTurf. And I'm a big believer that players respond, their bodies respond better. I know they do. playing on grass than they do on AstroTurf.
And they don't work them into the ground either. These guys, I mean, they work hard at practice, but they don't do pads. They get the things done. They do everything in timing, and just take a look at it. It's 12-1. It's got to work. Can't argue with it.
Well, you'd add 2 more to the 27 with Elway not starting today and Zimmerman not starting. And by the way, a break for Green Bay because of the injury to Denver. Timeout is not charged to Green Bay. They still have 2 remaining in the final 23 seconds. First down at the Denver 14. Muscles away from the pass rush, throws in the end zone, touchdown, Antonio Freeman. You talked about the quarterback and why he's the man. He makes plays. Michael Dean Perry sacks most quarterbacks on that effort. Not far.
That play says it all about this Green Bay football team. It's a blitz. Denver has perfect coverage on. Nobody's open. They should sack the quarterback. He gets away. And forget that. Very few quarterbacks can make that throw after they get away. A strike to the back of the end zone.
Jackie's tried for point and a very important touchdown in the final minute of this first half that sends the game from 6-3 to 12-3 Green Bay, and now 13-3 on the extra point.
The one thing that Favre did more than anything in this play is he backs up enough. He retreated enough and not to take the sack. Watch his feet. Now here they come up the middle. Michael Dean Perry, 95, has got him right here. But watch him stiff arm, then retreat. Now he sets up to throw the ball.
And Antonio Freeman at the other end.
Watch Antonio Freeman, number 86. He's covered in the end zone. He sees Brett Favre is free. He runs across the back of it. Hey, these guys have done this all year long. They know their quarterback can get out of trouble. And forget that. Watch this. Ryan winds up and on a line. Perfect throw.
We should point out that Tim Hawk, 37, was in there replacing the injured Braxton, and that's the man that was ultimately beaten.
Dick, how many times do we hear a coach say after a game, we have great players that make great plays, and great players are supposed to make great plays? Well, folks, Brett Favre and Phil Simms has said it many times. If I'm going to build a football team and I'm going to start with one quarterback, the guy I'm going to start with is Favre.
Well, Simms has been sending him flowers and candy for the last 2 years, congratulating him on being the league's best. How can you not like Favre, though? He's
unbelievable.
Country, and he'll never change. You know that. He's the Bobby Lane of this era. The tight end, Byron Chamberlain, brings out the skidding kick, fumbles the ball at the 35. And it appears Denver was able to recapture it. 11 seconds left. Jeff Robinson on the football. Jim?
Dick, Michael Dean Perry, when he came off the field, apologized to every member of the defensive unit, saying he should have had the sack. Each guy came off the field. He said he was sorry. He said he should have had it. Should have never been a touchdown. And also, Tyrone Braxton twisted his left knee, and he will return in the second half.
All right, Jim.
Does that mean Michael Dean's going to give this game check back?
You never know.
I don't think so.
He's not going to give it to you. I do know that, even though you're one of his favorites.
That's my pal.
Yeah, he likes being around you, Paul, because he feels...
You going to tell a story again? Are you going to tell it? Go ahead.
No. I'm not even going to do it. He has nothing but nice things to say about you. Sure.
11 seconds and no chances taken by Denver. They give it to Terrell Davis, and he struggles for a 5-yard gain out to the 40, and that's it for the first half. Green Bay's fans stand and cheer. The Packers leave with a 13-3 lead at the half. We'll be sending you to our NFL on NBC studio in New York, but first, a message from the NFL and a word from your local station. NFC Central, they score 10 points in the last 2 minutes of the first half and enjoy a 13-3 lead over Denver. Denver with a 9-game winning streak coming in. 5 first downs without John Elway. Did a good job defensively against the rush, but Brett Favre, that final drive was the Favre that they've cheered here in Green Bay the last several years.
Well, Denver's defense stopped them the whole first half. Brett Favre made the plays. That's the difference. Denver's offense, they got to force the issue a little. Take